So I left it and made it public, and then I came back to sex work. So I think that
As of pretty recently, right? We caught you in the middle of a
yeah,
interesting controversy, so to speak.
in a resurgence. So I quit. So I'd been doing sex work since I was almost 18.
Whoa.
Yeah, so I was funneled into it because I grew up super poor. I grew up, no education, abused, orphan, typical sex worker backstory, right? I get into it. I can't stop. I make fast money. I become addicted to the fast money. I changed my whole life around because all of a sudden now I'm making 150K a year. Now I'm making 300K a year. Like it was a whirlwind. And all the while I was like, something is wrong here. It never felt like my choice, right? It felt like something I was funneled into. And then I got engaged and I was like, okay, do I want to be a mom doing this? Not that there's nothing wrong with that inherently, I don't think. But I was like, do I want to be a mom doing this, right? Like, do I want to be doing this with my kids around? Do I want them to like see my little set? Do I want, what happens if their friends find it, right? I'm like, I don't know if I want to be that person. And I said that before and everyone's like, well, maybe society will be different. It won't be. It won't be. People fucking hate sex workers. So if you're a sex worker and you heard that and you want to have a converse, whatever. Anyway, I quit because I was really traumatized. I felt like extremely traumatized by all of it. I got into OnlyFans. I was doing IRL sex work, and then I got into like OnlyFans on a friend, like from a friend who was also on OnlyFans. So then it became like literally like a pipeline. Like all of my friends were doing it, and then it became easy because then I also wasn't putting my safety at risk because I could do it online, and I was making so much money. And then everyone was like, "This is empowerment," so I was like, "Hell yeah!" And it all culminated like 2 months ago when I was just like, I can't do this anymore. I cannot do this anymore. And so I was like, okay, and I was reading a lot of feminist theory, a lot of radical feminist theory, which I don't know about that now. But yeah, a lot of radical feminist theory that was like, you're always sublimating yourself for men by being sexual objects for them, which to some extent I still do agree with, right? But no woman is above sublimating herself for men, right? We live in a capitalist society. But I took 2 months off, which is a long time in sex work years. I've aged 5 years. And I posted a photo of myself topless. I don't know how explicit I could get, but I posted a photo of myself topless, and I really liked it. And it wasn't for money. I just did it for attention, basically. And I was like, oh, I miss this. I miss this feeling, which who's to say if that's healthy or not, right? And I wrote like a little essay, and I talked about that a little bit, like, I don't know what came first, the chicken or the egg, right? Like, do I like people looking at me naked because I did it for so long, or do I like it just because intrinsically I like it? Who's to say? But I do like it, and so I'm like, okay. I miss the money. I do like doing this, but I hate OnlyFans. I hate their marketing schemes, so I will never join OnlyFans again. They have something called like a referral program. So like you get a fraction of like someone's income if you refer them to the fucking website, which is like evil to me. So many sex work Twitter is all like, oh my God, you should do this if you're in a hard place. Like it's a really great way to like make quick money, and like it's really easy. It's not. It takes a toll on you, right? Like even that many eyes on you takes a toll on you. This is like the same thing if you're like an influencer, right? It's the same toll. It's not more of a toll because it's sexual. It's just a toll. So all these things culminated, and I was just like, maybe I can make a positive space at least where I'm doing the things that I want to do and making money from it. Because it does turn me on to be seen naked. So I like it, right? Might as well make money. And also, this is what I believe right now. My stance is, I'm very pro gatekeeping. I'm like very pro gatekeep. A lot of people are like, you're doing it. Why can't other people do it? And I'm like, because I'm 24 now. I'm smart enough to make my own decisions, right? I wasn't at 18. If I could go back to my 18-year-old self, I'd be like, don't fucking do that shit. You're a dumbass. Don't do that shit. Go to school, get a job, do something, right? Do anything else. If anything, I think that I'm a great show of everything I've said is that it is fucking hard to get out of sex work. I spent 6 years of my life in sex work, and it is impossible to get out of. You become addicted to the money. I can't get like a normal job because I have a heart condition. So like, you know, my stance is still that there should be other systems put in place, like social institutions put in place, or even, you know, I really believe in UBI. I think that there should be things so that, you know, women don't have to sell naked photos of themselves, right? Because ideally, women shouldn't have to in a tough spot. The first thing they go to shouldn't be like, oh, sexualizing myself for money, right? Like, that's not great for society. That means that something is wrong with society. I don't think it means that women's sexuality is what's wrong, but I think it means that we do not have enough things in place to like catch people who are going to fall into situations like this. But yeah, I think I can still do those things and have those messages while still making money. I don't know. I also want to come from a more like educational and artful standpoint where I was like, at first I was doing a lot of stuff that was like it felt very performative. Like I felt like a porn actress. Whereas like now I feel like I'm making a choice to show people my naked body in a way that I'm like not posing for them. I'm not pretending to like enjoy things I'm not enjoying. I'm going to do more educational content like, you know, 1 of 4 women who are 24 have never made themselves orgasm, right? So I'm interested in making like sexpert videos, like how to help yourself orgasm, or, you know, anatomy videos, or even like how to do certain sexual acts I'm interested in. But yeah, I don't know where I'm at with the whole thing. I'm in this like, I'm very black-pilled on it. Because, you know, I fought for 2 months valiantly against sex work. And everyone just fucking shit on me. And everyone was like, no one gives a fuck. And I was like, okay, well, if no one gives a fuck, do I?
You had to come back.
It's a weird place to be. But I definitely am still anti-free porn. I will always be, I think, anti-free porn. I think that it should be way harder to get access to free porn, if not impossible to get access to free porn. I'm also pro getting rid of OnlyFans, or like referral programs, or any website that takes 20% of your fucking income on your nudes. Like OnlyFans is effectively just a big fucking pimp. The CEO who just retired last year made
effectively a big pimp, but yeah
sure, of course. But but then it becomes, you know, yeah, it's just one man made $500 million in like 3 years off of all these 18-year-old girls coming onto OnlyFans and selling photos of their body, right? Which is fucking insane. And then now it's a woman. Now the CEO is a woman, so everyone's like, oh, OnlyFans, very woke. What the fuck ever. Yeah, of course, that's, you know, textbook liberalism. But I don't know. I think that the age of consent for those sort of, I think you should have a license. You need a license to be a sex worker. I would advocate for that. So more gatekeeping, and that you should also be older than 23.
So it sounds like you want more government regulation with sex work.
I do.
Which I agree with too. Just to be clear, I'm not a libertarian, even though I made the government as a pimp joke.